Hi again. Okay, we're in nose part two, so we're going to do our second extrusion. We've got this rough approximation of the nose here. We worked in some of the detail, but now we're going to select a whole bunch of faces, 11 faces actually. These ones, including this one and that one. And now we will go to, let me just go into full frame mode here. Go to Edit Mesh, Extrude, and then hit W to go into Move mode, and then just pull it out. You may want to just temporarily pull it down a little bit because we can go over here and if you don't pull it down, if I just go back, it looks like there are only three side faces here that we want to delete, but if we pull it down, it is revealed that there are actually four. There's that one down there too. So delete those faces to avoid complications. And now let's start moving some of these points around in the side view. Is it easier in shaded mode? X-ray? Maybe. So we can just start grabbing some of these vertices and moving them, and I'm just trying to build in the structure of the face. I want to maintain this line going up around. I want to continue um, the flow of the nasolabial fold onto the nose, so I want to get that in there. I want to tighten up the edge of the nostrils, and I want to put in a place, or tighten up the edge for the ala of the nose, and tighten up a place for the nostril here. So let's continue. So I'm not just working on the edge pieces, I'm moving some of these in. So here's the edge of my ala here, so I'm moving that out. Now I want to move these ones over to tighten it up. So we have more of a tight line along the nose, along the nostril. This is where it really becomes quite easy to get lost, but you can see I'm getting this nice line going up here, flowing up here onto the nose. Now I want to move some of this stuff around here. Now, which is it that I want to move? This one and these two. I'm just going to move these up and out a bit. So we're building this big plane that's going to house our nostril here. And then refine this a little bit. So you can see we're getting kind of an interesting shape here. Oops. Obviously this has to go up. Now the shape of your nostril and the shape of your nose is going to be different than mine. So I'm trying to just build in the shape of mine here, leaving a sort of space along the bottom that's going to have the hole in my nose, to use the technical term. And something like this. Now you want to make sure all this stuff is copacetic from the side view, so I may want to push some of this in a little bit. Now what you may notice is that I'm trying to keep all the first two columns of vertices sort of lined up when you look at them from the side. So it looks like I'm just selecting one, but it's actually selecting two. That's because when I reflect when I duplicate this head and reverse it and put it on the other side for the right side of this person's head, if these aren't lined up in a flat plane, then I'll get sort of a ridge down the middle. Now it can be fixed later, and we probably want to tweak this later, but for now we're going to keep it pretty close. So just continue to tweak this a little bit. Look at it from the side. So I've got the bony ridge of the nose here that I'm trying to accommodate. Now this person I think had a fairly wide nose tip because of the shape of the distal end of the nasal bone. So I'm trying to structure that in a little bit here. And kind of coming down to the tip. Maybe move this stuff down. Select this point. Come in a little bit. This one can come in a bit. Make sure this all seems to make sense. Actually, this one should probably come out a bit. So you can see you should probably have a kind of a row going around of faces something like this, because this will be going around the nostril, or the ala of the nose. Now, maybe that's too far in. Anyway, but you can see the structure of the nose here, so that's pretty good. Um, so you can see that part there. I may pull this out a little bit more to strengthen the nostril if we look at it on the side here. Of course, like always, the smooth view is going to be markedly different than our other view. Now, this person had a very bony nasal bones, but then they seem to flare out at the end. That's why I'm kind of trying to, oops, that's not a good sign. Bone poking through the mesh. That's terrible. Anyway, so we've roughed in the structure here again. You can see it's matching our nose pretty well, or my nose anyway, the nose that I drew. I made a kind of a squared off looking nose in the drawing, and I'll try to stick to that. Now I might just pull these down a little bit to mimic the shape of the nostril. A little bit. Anyway, stop that. You can always tweak, like I say, you can tweak. But I think that's kind of roughed in the form well. Now the next thing we're going to finish off detailing the nose, adding, moving into the vestibule of the nose here. Okay, that's what we'll do when we come back. Thanks.